my feet up. Get ready. Good morning, Rebecca Vigas, the writer whisperer here. It's a sunny day in south central Kentucky, but it's chilly, 32 degrees. I'm hoping it will get to the 68 it says it's going to. That would be nice for a change. I'm going to today talk to you about if you can talk, you can write. This was a proven program to get you writing and keep you writing. And it was, where did I read it? A UCLA writing course that he wrote this for. So now you're getting college material here, dudes. We're going to do chapter 1, and I'm going to throw him in here every now and then, or maybe once a week, so that you get used to different types and styles and ideas from other writers. I am not the be all end all of writing coaches. There are a ton of them. For every 10 writers, if you ask them what you need to do to be successful, you have 10 different answers. 10 different answers. So mine is just one of many. This is called the fortune cookie that saved my life. One night, still in the throes of an agonizing writer's block, I got a fortune cookie that saved my life. My fortune cookie read, to avoid being disappointed, minimize expectations. Now to the side, eat my cookie, and never think of it again. But there was something about those words that almost made sense to me. What if I did lower my expectations? Really lowered them? What if I said to myself, I don't care if it makes any sense or not. Whatever's in my head, I'm going to write down. And suddenly it hit me. That's how I started writing in the first place. I was 11 years old, banging away at an old Royal typewriter. Not a worry in the world. That same night, I started writing again, the same way I'd started as a kid, just for the hell of it. I was fooling around again, having fun on the page, finger painting with words and ideas. I didn't care how crazy or wild or silly it got. It got me going again, and that's all that mattered. It wasn't great writing, but it was writing. The dry spell was over. You have to know it had been a 5-year writing block for Mr. Saltzman. Having lowered my expectations, I wasn't disappointed. I was elated. I used to throw things out saying, this isn't great. It didn't occur to me that it didn't have to be great. William Shakespeare. Okay, if you're at all like me, you're a perfectionist. You want it perfect the first time out. It's got to be good, or there's no sense doing it. Forget all that. Start writing. Just start writing. Use your morning pages. Brain dump everything you know. Anything remembered from a dream. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far-fetched. It doesn't matter. What matters is You're writing on something, about something. My little tablet here, I'm putting something on it. Doesn't matter what I put. You know what? If I'm writing, handwriting, and I run out of words, I start making little squirrelies until I get a word. Simple as that. No writing is perfect. Not all writing is great writing. Sellers list at the New York Times. Helps if you have $10,000 to invest. And you wonder how some names stay there all the time. Doesn't matter what book they've written or anything, they're on the bestsellers list. Why is that? Because by now they're a household name and anything they write is going to make money. More money than you or I will ever see, unless, of course, you make that list. I'd be happy to make the top 100. I don't have to be in the top 10. I don't even have to be in the top 50. My writing is good. People buy my writing. They read it. They tell their friends about it. I have friends who are saying, "When's the next book coming out?" Right after they finish reading the current book. "When's the next one coming out? I'm waiting." Seriously? I can only write so fast. I don't sit down here and write a book every 21 days. I know if I didn't do anything else, clean my house, do the dishes, do the laundry, if I didn't do any of that, I could write a book every 21 days. I don't like kamikaze writing. I don't want to write a book every 21 days. I want to write a good book. And sometimes it takes longer than that. Lots longer than that. I wrote a book in 21 days. It's a good book. It's in its second edition. This book, I wrote and sat on it for 18 years before it ever saw publication. Because my publisher at the time said any idiot can write an alphabet book. Really? Any idiot. No, tells me what he thought of me, doesn't it? And I still hung around and still published books through him until he threw me under the bus. And that's okay, it's his loss. It's truly his loss. I don't recommend him to anyone. Not anymore. I used to send authors to him. Not anymore. It's like, if you don't want to work with me, just tell me you don't want to work with me. Don't keep postponing phone calls to talk to me. Don't give me the same excuses you gave me a year ago. Become original or be honest. I had a coaching client who decided she didn't want to work with me. Okay, don't work with me. I won't ask her for a recommendation. If she gets another coach, more power to her. Can she write? Yes. Is her story good? Yes. Do I think it'll ever see a publisher? No. If I coach you, I'm going to make suggestions about your writing. I'm going to tell you why I'm making the suggestions. You don't have to take them. If you think it would in some way change what you are writing, tell me, no, that's not what my character would do, or that's not how I want this story to go. But don't dwell on it. If you don't want to change it, don't change it. You're going to hire an editor someday. That's a person who's going to go through and nitpick your spelling and grammar and punctuation, the flow of your book, whether you need something more or something less. They might tell you to cut an entire chapter. If you have a good working relationship with your editor, they're going to give you good concrete reasons for why changes need to be made. And when you make the changes, you're going to find out your book is better for it. I had a group I was in, and I may have told you this. There were four of us. There was a moderator and three authors, authors A, B, and C, and the moderator. Each week we turned in 5,000 words. And each week we went in and gave feedback. And the moderator gave feedback. And the book I was writing at the time became a much better book. And it too was in its second edition. I like to go places where I can write. That book was written while I was in Texas one winter. River's Edge, the first Macy McVannell book, was written before I went to South Carolina. 3 short stories, ebook length, and one of them ended up becoming not an ebook. It was no longer an ebook. It became the beginning of the 3rd Macy book. And it gave me reason for what happened in that book. So, you don't have to be great. You have to be good. But you don't have to be either one the very first time you write it. You can be silly, wacky, crazy, out there. It doesn't matter. I will give you a story prompt tomorrow, and then I will give you what I wrote as a take from this same story prompt. I think it's going to be a middle grade book. I think it's going to be science fiction. And I think it's going to be serious. I don't know if the 2 characters will ever have any other book written about them. I'm not particularly a science person. So, in order to pull this off, I'm going to have to do some research. Book won't be out before 2023. If then. I'm not sure where it falls on my to-do list. So, I want you not only to do your morning pages, because those are important. And as soon as I finish here, I'll be doing mine. And then just write anything, something microscopic in your life today that cracks you up. Something in your life that sets you off. Something that makes this Monday morning better than it would have been if it hadn't happened. Just write. You can do this. It doesn't have to be perfect every time you write. If you were to see my morning pages, you would see where I started to write a word, crossed it out, and wrote a different word. Or I spelled the word wrong, crossed it out, and wrote it right again. I do that. And I keep writing because it's mine. No one's going to see it but me. If I choose to share an excerpt from it, that's up to me. But my morning pages are mine. I'm in the 3rd journal of morning pages. I think so. Yeah, 3rd. I think I'm in the 3rd. I had a big hardcover one that I did morning pages in. Big 8.5 by 11. I had a smaller one with mucho pages in it. And now I have the one that says boss lady. And I make notes of things that are upcoming in my life. Yeah, I do. But I write. I do all kinds of things, but I write. I have a list a half mile long today of things I'm going to do, or at least attempt to do. Sometimes I start at the top of the list and sometimes I start at the bottom. Today I'm starting at the top. There are things I have to do. I have to see if I can get a refill on my syringes for my diabetes. So I have to call the pharmacy and I have to call the doctor because he may need to write a new prescription. So, once I get the things I have to do done, everything else falls in place. I can find time to write. I will find time to write. I will find time to work on a baby layout. I will find time to do laundry and wash dishes and do whatever else I have to do. Because that's what life is all about. But I will also find time to write. How about you? Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Happy writing.